What's up? Welcome to Shoot. Like, comment, subscribe. Happy boy start working for FedEx. Welcome to the show. NBA Playoffs edition. Playoffs start tomorrow. Let's get right on into it. How y'all feeling? Once again, welcome to Shoot. As you can see above my head, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with the West first. NBA Playoffs edition. Starting with the West, we're going to go with the 1A matchup, Lakers and Blazers. I think this series can be quick, but I also feel like it can be long. Quick as in it could be 4 games. Quick as in it could be 5 games, but it could also be 6. It depends on if LeBron goes off. That's my one dependent factor. If LeBron go off every game, not saying he needs to, but if he does, and if Dame goes off. If Dame goes off, they can steal 2 games. That's the only way I think it could go 6. If Dame average 35, 40 in those 2 games that I say they're going to win. I think Lakers can win. If it's not a sweep, I think Lakers can win in 5. 5 or 6 at the most. I don't think it'll go 7 at all. I feel like the Blazers have no answer for LeBron, to be honest with you. I feel like they have no answer for him. They don't have an answer for Anthony Davis. So I just feel like if the Lakers come in focused and their offense is rolling, because that's the thing, though, as we saw in the bubble, the offense wasn't really rolling, but the defense wasn't so bad. Even though you're missing Avery Bradley, the perimeter defense could be a lot better. It could be a lot better. Inside, they have no problem because you got Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, and Anthony Davis covering that. Like, there's no problem on the inside at all. It's just on the perimeter. Guys getting beat on quick first steps by these other teams' guards. So it's just depending on if LeBron goes off or if Dame goes off. To the 4-5 matchup, Rockets versus Thunder, which will be very interesting. That is going to be a long series. If it's anything less than 5 games, I'll be shocked. If it's anything less than 5 games, I'll be shocked. I think it'll go 7 though. I got Rockets in 7. I think it'll be a very back and forth teeter-totter series. I feel like Houston will get off to a hot start. Don't be surprised if CP steals game 1 from them. I feel like Chris Paul is gonna really show James Harden and Daryl Morey, the GM of the Rockets, why you shouldn't have traded me at all. And I also wanted to comment on something. I feel like Billy Donovan should have been a shoe-in earlier in the season for Coach of the Year. I feel like people were just getting on his bandwagon towards the end of the year. Everybody was talking about Nick Nurse and Mike Budenholzer. I understand Mike Budenholzer because his team had the best record for majority of the season. I understand that. Nick Nurse, I don't really get that because, Kawhi left. That's one person. They still thrived without him when he was there. They were, 17 and 5 in 22 games when he didn't play last season? So I feel like you're talking about a team in the Thunder who had a 0.2% chance of making the playoffs. They traded their star player. They get a veteran point guard, and he has them as the 5th seed, a top 5 seed in the loaded West. Yeah, put some respect on Billy Donovan's name. Put some respect on Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, Steven Adams. Give all those guys props. Give all them credit. Shout out to Andre Roberson for coming back, man. Good to see him back. Good to see that brother back. Let's move right on into the 3-6, which is the the Jazz and the Nuggets. Well, the Nuggets and the Jazz. The Nuggets are 3rd seed, Jazz are the 6th seed. I feel like that could go 6. It depends on how. I like Donovan Mitchell, but I feel like it depends on how he plays. I feel like his game is too up and down. Although he is a young player and he has to mature, I feel like his game is like too up and down. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. Like, some nights you could get this guy Some nights you get the aggressive Donovan Mitchell. Some nights you might get the pull back. Like he could have a 28, 7, and 6 game with a couple wild dunks. And then he could have like a 17, 5, and 5. Like, his game too up and down. Like I said, he's young. I like him. I'm not gonna sit up here and harshly criticize him. He's still young. He's been in the league 2, 3 years. So I'm not gonna sit up and harshly criticize him. I just feel like I don't know what I'm gonna get from him every single night. So I give it Nuggets and 6. Nuggets and 6. I feel like top to bottom, I've been saying this to a lot of my peers, a lot of my friends. I feel like top to bottom, from the first guy to the last guy on the bench, the Nuggets have the best, most talented, not the best, the most talented roster from top to bottom. I feel like they have the most talented roster from top to bottom. Like, I feel like their 15th guy on their bench could be anybody's 15th guy on anybody's NBA bench. I just feel like they're the most talented roster. I feel like Michael Porter Jr. He's finally showing, why he was number one in his high school ranking class. I feel like he started to come along. I feel like that's scary. I feel like if he takes that next step and he's co-star to Nikola Jokic, what does that leave Jamal Murray? Is he comfortable with taking a step back? Or will he have to take a step back? I feel like that's really their problem. Like, Jokic can go, but he can only go so far where he needs somebody to come along with him. I don't know if I feel like that's going to be their thing as far as going forward. I feel like the Nuggets have enough talent, and it's a good problem to have when you have a lot of talent. But I just feel like, who's going to be that guy? Like, what if Jamal Murray has a bad game? Is MPJ going to step right behind him and take on that 20 and 13 or those 25, 30 points that they need behind Jokic's triple-double, So who knows? But yeah, like I said, I got Nuggets and Jazz going 6 games at the most. Clippers and Mavericks. This series could be as the 1 and 8 seed. It could be long or short. I feel like it depends on if Luka Doncic is just playing at an all-time high. Like, the guy is putting up crazy numbers. He's the youngest to put up, 30 and 20 rebounds in a game? Yeah, that's crazy. I just feel like if Luka plays out of his mind, this series could be 6, 7 games. I don't think it's going to go 7. It might go 5, maybe 6, but I got Clippers in 5 or 6. More than likely, I feel like the Clippers might be up 3-0, and then they might get a little comfortable and give away a game, and then they close it out in 5. I think it'll probably be a 5-game series, at the most 6. But it all depends on if Luka plays at an all-time high, then we might have a problem. Yeah. So, now, that's just round 1 for the West. I'm going to shift over to round 1 for the East. So we got Bucks and Magic. Clean sweep. They have nobody to stop Giannis. I feel like for the East to be so weak, I feel like those teeter-totter teams, those guys who are barely scraping up 30-something wins, have been getting in the playoffs the last, 2 years. Like, these guys, I feel like the East is so top-heavy right now. Like, you probably got 3 or 4 legitimate teams that are actually probably title contenders. So I just feel like there's nobody to stop Giannis. There's nobody to stop their offense. They're loaded defensively. So I feel like it's a clean sweep. It's not even going to be close. Heat and Pacers. With all of the fuel behind the, I guess you could say, Jimmy Butler, TJ Warren feud, I guess you could say, it could be 7. Although this is not Heat and Pacers, excuse me. This is not Heat and Pacers of 7, 8 years ago. when you had the big three versus a young Paul George and David West and Roy Hibbert and George Hill and Dante Jones and Danny Granger. Even though it's not that, I feel like that little rivalry that these guys have with each other is going to fuel it to be a very competitive series. I will say it can probably be a 5-6 game series in all honesty, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went to 7. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I got heat in probably 5 or 6 games, just going with my mind over my heart. I really feel like it'll probably be a 5 or 6 game series. I feel like Victor Oladipo is still playing his way back into shape, you know, which along with everybody is. But I'm saying, like, as far as he was hurt during the season, like earlier in the season. So I feel like their best player is still playing his way back into shape. So I got Heat in probably 5 or 6 games. On to the 3-6 matchup, Celtics versus Sixers. People actually think this series can be long. If Joel Embiid does not play, I don't see this series going too long. I really don't see this series going long at all. I actually think this might shock some people, but I actually think this might be a sweep. At the most 5 games. I don't care if it is just Joel Embiid out there, like, unless Shake Milton is just hitting everything, which he has the capability to do. I don't see this series going. I don't even think, some people think it's going 7. I don't even think it's going 7. I think it might go 5. 5, maybe 6. Maybe 6. And that's a strong maybe. I'm sorry, but I had Philly going to the finals at the beginning of the year. I thought Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were going to get it together. I understand they're still young, still trying to develop the chemistry, still trying to work with each other, still trying to grow, but I don't know, man. I just feel like the Celtics, they're positionless. Like, they're so versatile on both ends of the floor. It's going to be too much for the Sixers. That's why I say I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be surprised, if it was a clean sweep. Raptors versus Nets in the 2-7 matchup, I think that is a maximum of 5 games. The only reason I would give the Nets a game is if Karis LeVert drops 40 or 36. Like, if he just has one game where he's just killing Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. That's the only reason I would see that going any longer. On to the second round for the West. We have Lakers versus Rockets. Lakers in 6. I say Lakers in 6. Wouldn't be surprised if it goes 7. I would not. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that. I would not be surprised if it goes 7. I say that because I feel like I'm not sitting up here saying Avery Bradley is their entire perimeter defense, but he helps out a lot. I've not really been impressed with Danny Green's defense. I feel like if his defense I feel like he's not hitting shots. He's not really playing defense. That's just me. I like Danny Green. I just haven't been impressed with his defense all year. And everybody like, oh, just wait for the playoff. I haven't seen it. Hopefully he shows me something different. He has been playing defense when it was the last couple of regular season games in the bubble restart. He was playing a little better defense, but all season I really haven't been impressed with his defense. But I just feel like there might be a couple nights where Houston hits 23s or 18 threes, where I just feel like the Lakers won't be able to do anything about that. But it might be 6 games. It might be 6 games. I give it Lakers in 6. Nuggets and Clippers. I would say Clippers in 6. I feel like the Clippers might get bored, and they might try to take the foot off the gas. And I feel like the Nuggets might take advantage of that. I feel like Jamal Murray is going to have a solid series. I feel like a solid series to the point where he might go off. Like, he might go on a tangent where he goes off. He might rip off 10 points in a row at a point in time. And I feel like some games it's going to be like, he probably got like 8. We probably shoot like 4-17. But I feel like there's going to be, like Jamal Murray's game is kind of up and down to me as well. Like I was talking about Donovan Mitchell earlier. So I just feel like he might have a solid series. He might. Let me just stick with that. He might have a solid series. I feel like that second guy behind Jokic is the main problem on their team. They don't know who's right behind him every night. Like when you had Jordan, you knew Scotty was right behind it, or Horace Grant in the early '90s was right behind it. That is Denver's problem. It's too much inconsistency in their second guy, along with the Bucks. You don't know if Middleton's going to give you 20, or is he going to give you 10 or 15 or 17. You never know. On to the East, second round. Bucks and Heat. That could be a 7-game series. Matchups are I wouldn't say they're favorable to Miami, but they match up well. Let's put it like that. The Heat play what I like to call big boy basketball. They're not soft. They play hard. Spoelstra is going to have those guys ready. That could be a 7-game series. Bam is he's going to be a terror. He's going to be a terror. Giannis is going to have a hard time in that series, I believe. He's going to have a very hard time in this series, but I think the Bucks will come out. I feel like he's going to break through, and he's going to come out victorious. I got Bucks in 7. Celtics and Raptors, that will be a 7-game series. 7-game series. At the minimum, 6. Who do I think will win, though? That's the tough one. It could go either way, but if I have to give it an edge, I will say the Raptors, because the Raptors, not just because they're the recent champions and they won the championship, I just feel like their wherewithal, their will. Not to say that the Celtics don't want it, but I feel like the championship pedigree, the experience, the championship experience, the trenches experience, I feel like it favors Toronto. So I give it a Raptors in 7. On to the conference finals. Lakers and Clippers. Lakers in 7. I've been saying this since Kawhi signed. Lakers in 7. I got a lot of flack for, they lost on opening night. They lost on Christmas Day. I haven't heard too much from a lot of people because the Lakers didn't win the last 2 games. But, I got Lakers in 7. I feel like once Bron figures that defense out, because he's still figuring it out. Like, he hasn't been shooting well. He's been putting up solid numbers, but he hasn't shot well. I think he's shooting 39% against the Clippers in 4 games. So, and that's not Bron at all. Bron is mid to high 50s or 50% or above, I would say, against anybody. That's overall. I feel like AD is going to have to 30 and 15, 30 and 20, those type of games. I feel like there's nobody. Montrezl Harrell, I love Montrezl Harrell. I love the way he plays. You can't do nothing with him. There's nobody on that court that can do anything with him. And then a lot of people say, well, they have people to guard LeBron. No, they have one person to guard LeBron. That's Kawhi Leonard. And I wouldn't even say necessarily guard. He can bother LeBron. But Paul George, no. You talking to somebody who was a Heat fan at the time when the Big Three were playing the Pacers all the time in the playoffs for 3 straight years. Paul George can't do. When it come down to it, Paul George is gonna fade. When the rubber really needs to meet the road, Paul George is gonna fade. I've seen it too many times, bro. When they lose, it's gonna be because of him. It's going to be because of him. Kawhi Leonard's going to show up. Paul George is going to probably appear hot in Game 7. Then towards the end, he's going to fade out, bro. I've seen it too many times. I like Paul George. Don't get me wrong. I really do. I love his game. I just feel like he doesn't have, like how everybody loves to say, Clippers have dogs. They have a team full of dogs. He don't have no dog in him like that. Like Kawhi Leonard, that's a dog. Pat Beverly, that's a dog. Lou Will, that's a dog. Trez, that's a dog. JaMychal Green, that's a dog. Paul George don't have that dog. I seen that dog fade too many times. He has dog when he front running, not when he needs it, not when he down 4 with 2 minutes left, or he down 6 with 2 minutes left. He fade too much for me. That's my only thing. I got Lakers in 7. Bucks and Raptors, 7-game series. I got the Bucks. Lakers and Bucks in the finals. I've been saying that for a couple months. My preseason pick was Lakers, Sixers. I thought the Sixers were going to get together. As I started seeing the season go on, Bucks are coming out. Bucks are going to find their way out. I just feel like the Lakers and the Bucks will make the finals. And I believe that the Lakers will win the championship in 5 games. I feel like Giannis is going to just dominate. He's going to have like a 30, 35, 17, and 8 game and go off. But I don't see this going 7. It's 5, maybe 6 at the most. But I got the Lakers winning the championship. I have LeBron and AD getting their first championship together. Their first of probably many. But, yeah, I have the Lakers winning it all. And, I feel like Bron is going to complete his mission of the washed king, because he was washed, averaging 27, 8, and 8. Although he did not play well last season. I admit he was horrible defensively. He didn't play any defense. But he was hurt. I'm not going to make no excuses for him. I'm just calling how I see it. The man was hurt. He was hurt. But I just feel like on his reclaim to claiming his throne that he never lost, to me, he's going to make sure his presence is felt. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Shoot to Shoot. I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.